see everybody here. And welcome to this week's coaching clinic, where we're going into that depth again of exploring just on a new level what it is to really relax and surrender and let life be in charge. So one of the things that's been coming up a lot as I have been exploring and listening to people and on my own journey is just realizing that as we surrender to life's invitation, things fall into flow, things work out. Now, I was someone who absolutely was not interested in other people making decisions for me, in other people taking the lead. It caused a lot of friction in my relationship with Francesco, because it was indicative of someone who didn't really trust life to have a better idea or a better answer. And it was a lot of striving. You know, it was a lot of, if it's going to be, it's up to me and I've got to make it happen. And you might resonate with that. I'm assuming if you're with me today about this topic, that on some level you're craving that experience of flow and that experience of being lived and that experience of easiness that comes as a result of that. And you too may have been living life or have lived your life in the past where you're just pushing and you're striving and you're assuming that it's up to you. We just mute everybody.
Thank you.
There we go. So that is not an easy way to live. It's not a graceful way to live. And I'm not suggesting that there's not things for you to take action on and take the initiative around. But a lot of what we're doing is making us tired. And I think the tiredness is a really great indicator for whenever you're just being too in charge, not letting life live you, not letting life move through you. Now, some of the ways that life lives us is through other people's invitations and other people's suggestions. And if you don't like other people's suggestions, or you're not a fan of other people deciding, or you're not really into life inviting you through someone else's idea, you miss out. You miss out. I got to the point, in particularly in my relationship with Francesco, where I would just say, I'd like to go out. That's all I know. You choose. Whereas before, I had to choose where, and it had to be a certain way, and if it wasn't, I was going to be disappointed. Same with Netflix. I'd like to watch something. You choose. And those might sound like very simple examples, but in letting someone else choose, I started to surrender and relax and sometimes get a much better experience than if I was out there making it happen. So a little experiment for you this week is to notice what life's inviting you to and to say yes. I had a beautiful example yesterday for Valentine's Day. I woke up and I was very clear. I wanted to have a nice day. I wanted to be in a nice feeling. And immediately I had a message from a friend saying, do you want to come and look at some properties with me? It made no sense. I don't need to look at properties. But that was life's invitation. And I said yes. And I took the invitation and off I went and had a lovely morning. And then as I was going around and I was seeing properties and the sun was beaming down, it occurred to me, gosh, it'd be lovely to sit somewhere for lunch in the sun. But where? And all the places I could think of were all old. I'd been there, done that. And again, I said, okay, life, you choose. I know we're going to end up somewhere, so you choose. And another friend then was in touch and said, oh, I've got a lunch break. Do you fancy going down to the water? And we will have, seafood in front of the water. I've only got a quick lunch break, but we can still do it. And there I was finding myself sitting there with this platter of incredible seafood, the sun shining down, and this gorgeous view of the sea. Now, it's not like I didn't have a clarity on what I wanted. I want you to hear that there was an intention when I woke up. It was just clear. I want to have a nice day. I want to live in a nice feeling. I want to say yes to whatever life presents me today. And if it's possible, I'd love to have a really nice lunch. And that's what happened. I could have said, no, I don't want to look at properties. No, I don't like the idea of a lunch break where we're not going to have a lot of time. No, I don't want to go somewhere new. I should be doing something else. But instead, I've learned over time that life is often living us through other people's invitations. And you want to get strong enough in your being to allow that, say yes to that, check in with how it feels, of course. I'm not suggesting that you just say yes to everything. And then just get out of the way. Just let it be. Many people come to me and they say, Grace, I don't know who my target market is. I don't know what my message is and who my people are and what I should be sharing in the world. And it's really interesting what begins to happen is they stop trying to figure that out. They start getting traction. And suddenly a particular group of people emerge that all have the same or similar issues. I've got one client who really was wanting to define this direction of hers for so long. And as she got out of the way and life started presenting her opportunities to coach, soon enough, all the people she was coaching were demonstrating the same problem. They were all in the area of adolescence and self-harm. Now, she could never have come up with that exact niche, that exact direction, if she were sitting there mentally trying to figure it out. Instead, she let life present it. She let life lead the way. And so you can take a rest. And we're going to go into a meditation in a moment to help you. You can take a rest and let go and trust that whatever you're trying to figure out right now will become obvious, will become clear, and will be a kind of, why didn't I think of that? Because life will begin to show it to you. Don't be so busy in the striving and the struggling and the trying to figure out and the trying to force it and the trying to push it and the judging of it, that you miss what's right in front of you. I really do believe life's always giving us signs. I really do believe that a gentle prayer for clarity and a setting of intention for whatever it is you're looking for is the groundwork, is the ritual, if you like, that then yields presents, gifts from life. So let's just take a few minutes here to delve into a really nice surrendering meditation, visualization. I never know what to call these. And as we do this, bring something to the table that you've been holding on tightly about. And give yourself the intention and the permission that through this exercise, you're going to let go and let life. You're going to take a rest. You're going to stop trying to be in charge of it. For you, it might be weight loss. It could be money. It could be what to do about a relationship. It could be, I mean, it does, the subject, the content does not matter. Just, you know, that there's somewhere that you've been holding on tightly, trying to take too much charge over, and you're ready to let life guide you, lead you, give you a rest as you surrender in this way. So join with me now as you close your eyes. Just take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out. Breathing in through the nose and out. Feel yourself sinking into the chair, onto the sofa, into the bed, wherever you are. In through the nose and out. See roots coming from your feet down through the ground, right down to the under, all the way down to that rock at the bottom of the earth. And wrap those roots around that rock. This rock emanates divine light, golden light, and is there to support you and ground you. Let it do so. Let it take care of you. As you sense that divine light emanating from that rock, just let it move now through the rock, up through the roots, up into the underground, the ground, the floorboards, and into your feet. See this beautiful light just circulating around the feet, the ankles, the shins, the calves, the kneecaps, the thighs, all around your middle, all up through the body, through the chest, all the way up to the neck, out through the shoulders, down through the arms, out through the hands and the fingertips, back up through the arms, up through the shoulders, down through the spine, and back up through the spine into the head, circling the head, the hair, the face, the throat. And you're just completely immersed in this light. This is the light of your true nature. It's cleansing, it's healing, it's loving. Let yourself be in your light. Now taking your hands, just holding them in a fist-like position, both, just tighten your hands. Feel yourself holding on tightly. And acknowledge what it is you've been holding on too tightly around or to. And just open the hands, and with a deep breath, breathe out, pushing the energy out. So here we go, in through the nose and out. See the fist just opening out. Do that again. So in through the nose and holding your fist tightly, whatever you're holding on to, wherever you've been trying to take charge too much, imagine it now. And on the in-breath, on the out-breath, we're going to let it release. In through the nose, last time, tightly with your fists. Breathing in, and on the out breath, let it go. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. In this moment, in this way, you're physically, energetically releasing. And I see the light coming from your heart center. So around the breastbone, really, all of that area, see the golden light emanating out, projected out in your mind's eye. And send it to any area that has been an area that you have been trying to figure out too much in. Send that light, project that light into that circumstance, situation, person, animal, bank account, weighing scale, it doesn't matter. Business, project the light onto that you've been trying to figure out, get a solution to. And see the situation melt, just melt. Feel yourself surrender to the light. Beautiful. Often when we're holding on tightly, taking charge of an area, we feel tension in our body. So scan your body now for wherever you've been having pain in recent days or weeks. Could be a niggle, could be a harder pain, could be severe, could come and go. Just go to that area in your body. And using your breath now, breathing in through the nose, breathe the light into that area. Feel your shoulders relax, tension release. Do that again. So breathe in and breathe out the light into that area. Often we're just holding so much. I remember the very first time that I heard truth and I was finally ready to hear it. I can remember the muscles in my stomach finally relaxing and the tension in my neck finally releasing. After years of just living uptight. So just let yourself let go. Now let's go and meet life and see what life has in store for us. Let's see what our invitation is. So I want you to see yourself now walking upon that golden path through a beautiful forest and up towards a lake, a body of water. As you approach the lake, just notice what it's like. And see a little bench on the other side where you can go and sit. And as you sit there, the sun is beaming down upon your face. Your body's more gently relaxed. And this is your space in which to have a conversation with life, Don't worry if you get answers in images or words or feelings or just nothing. It's okay. But take a few moments here and inquire with life. What would you like to invite me to do? Where can I let go of being in charge even more? Breathing in through the nose. And as you breathe out, surrender. Surrender that answer, that situation, that thing that's been hard work for you. Take yourself now from the bench, walking along towards the body of water and around it and onto the golden path, and walking along that path with the sun still beaming, still supporting you. Back into your body, feel your thighs on the chair, on the sofa, on the bed, feel your legs. Move your wrists a little, move your ankles a little. See roots coming from your feet down through the ground, down into the underground, right down to that rock at the bottom of the earth, and wrap those roots around that rock. Take a deep breath in and a really sharp out breath. One more time, letting everything go. Deep breath in, really sharp out breath. And gently open your eyes. If there's anything you want to write down, do so now. Let yourself be here. So you may have discovered there was more than one place that you were holding on to tightly, not giving your life a chance to guide you. Or you may have just noticed a gentle energetic release. There's something very freeing about not being in charge, and it doesn't mean that you won't take action. It means that you're getting ready to hear what the action is. It means that there's space to really know what the direction and the action and the non-action truly is. You get to take a rest while life does its thing. And I'm always quite taken by this analogy that why would we not trust the same life force that knows how to turn acorns into oak trees and embryos into babies without you or I sorting that out? Why would we not put our faith in the same energy that knows how to heal wounds and broken hearts and knows how to breathe us and knows how to digest our food? What could be so difficult about trusting that energy that is living us? Because as far as I can see, it doesn't discriminate. It's not like, well, I can beat your heart, but I can't sort out your bills. It really doesn't care about the content. It cares about supporting us to our healthiest nature. And in the pursuit of, let's say, us trying to make it happen, figure out, give too much of ourselves, in the pursuit of that sort of very hard action orientated element, we separate from this gorgeous life force. Now, not for a long time and not physically, just energetically. We begin to, it continues to beat our heart and digest our food and take care of us. But we kind of separate ourselves from solutions and possibilities and invitations and ideas. So what are you hearing in this one? What question do you have? What coaching do you require? At this point, I'm happy to just move into that realm now with you, and anything that I can help you with today, let me know. You can just come on, or you can type in the box. What's resonating, or what's a yeah, but for you?
Hi, Grace.
Hi, is that Lillian?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good to see you here, honey.
I think from what you were saying, a majority of us, and I see this all the time, and I've experienced it myself, we're not taught in society how to rest. We don't know what that looks like or feels like. And we can only go by what we see or what we're taught through example. And I had a conversation with someone the other day, and we were saying, yes, particularly for those of us who were brought up with strong women where, you know, you're always working, you've always got to do, can't be seen not to be doing anything. That's what we mimicked because that's what we thought that was what was life is about. So then shifting out of that to then resting or taking your hands off and surrendering and trusting can seem like a big step. And I know that was the case for me when I had my health crisis in 2018. I mean, I had no choice but to rest. But prior to that, I was someone who never, rest was just like, what's that? I don't know what that is. I need to keep going. I need to keep doing something. But I think, I mean, this is something that I'm learning more and more each day, is to take the the hands off, take the reins, loose the reins, and just trust. And I did this over, it was from November, I started to feel like, no, especially as the weather was turning more towards winter, I felt, no, I just need to hibernate, rest more, be at peace, not do as much, which I'm glad I did, because then I got the download in, I think it was early January, to do my next course. So, and it wasn't even in any realm of my mind at all. It all came through a conversation with a friend. And then afterwards, I started doing some reading, and then it was like, why don't you do this? And I was like, oh my goodness, I haven't done that since 2 years ago. And then presented the course, and everything ran accordingly, smoothly. So there is benefits of us. I mean, I get my signals through what my body is saying, when to rest, when to go, and then listening to that and obeying that. I'm getting more better at doing. But generally, I think it's something that we're not taught in today's society.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that, Lillian. That was very generous of you to share your experience. And I know that most people that listen to that will resonate. You know, they will resonate. The body will feed back and express whatever we're repressing and whatever we need to learn as we go along. And yeah, I mean, this is where we want to be strong, not like as in strong women, but as in this is where we want to be strong about our own requirements. Because society will say, well, what are you doing? Well, I'm not doing anything. Well, why not? Because I don't know what to do. Yeah, but you should be doing something. Well, I am doing something, actually. I'm aligning. Every time you're resting, you are aligning with life's wisdom. Every time. Now, the world doesn't know what that really means or why that's important. I think it's waking up to that. But that let the world judge it. You know that in your sleeping, in your resting, in your relaxing, in your enjoying, everything ending in an ing, in your walking, in your listening, you are aligning with the life force of the universe that knows how to get the signals through to you if there's something you need to do. Alignment trumps everything because you fall into flow. You fall into life's guidance. You wake up with a clarity that you might have spent months trying to figure something out, and then it's just clear because you have taken your requirement to align and rest. You have taken that seriously. That is serious work. Aligning is serious work. Now, it doesn't feel like work and it doesn't look like work, but you really want to pay attention to that because it's how life works. It's how life comes through you. I heard this wonderful expression recently. People who are procrastinating are aligned people who aren't yet in alignment with what they're trying to do. In other words, if you're not getting around to something, the best thing you could do for yourself is to look away from it, rest, enjoy, listen, sleep, take it off your mind until you fall into enough alignment that you can then move forward with it. You can then align with it to get it done. And how interesting, it could take us months to do it from a place of non-alignment. And it could take us a couple of hours to do it or a few minutes to do it from an aligned space. So no, society doesn't applaud alignment. But then most of us here are not here for what society is applauding. We're here for what we can do to lift society up. And that's the job of the light worker. That's the job of the healer, the teacher, the coach, the light worker, and many others. Here to lift the energy up requires your energy to be up. Remember, I've spoken many times with all of you about, well, when we talked about, well, how do we get clients and how do we grow a business and how do we get clients? And it was like, well, it's not about the funnel. It's about, are you living in a level of well-being that's recognizable to the souls around you? Because when you're living from that well-being, the world can't help but notice. And you got to know when you're not living there. Don't launch a program when you're not living from a level of well-being. Wait until you're in alignment and then put it out there and watch the response. Now, that might be a strange way to run a business. What do you mean? I have to wait until I'm actually aligned before I can do it? Well, if you want things to flow, rest up. Stop being so in charge. Rest up. The rest and the alignment is as much part of the work as the marketing and the selling. Simple as that. It's just been really overlooked. So I got a couple of comments there. I'm not sure. Or did I get a question? Every time you're resting, you're aligned. Yes. Okay, Connie's writing in. I'm still in bed, happy to be here. Over time, walking down long hallways, my body has been breaking down. My left ankle started hurting. I took the recommended medication and ice baths. It's been over 2 months. I went to the doctor. He said I have a left ankle stress fracture. I've had to stop working. Still have to see the specialist. I've been worried about how I will earn money or possibly go back to work with a scooter. I can see I must release the control and allow the right way to surface. I appreciate this call. That's beautiful, Connie. I'm sorry you're going through that, but I really think it's beautiful that you're seeing that this is the area that you want to start to release the control on. You would be amazed what life sends you. You would be absolutely amazed at what life sends you as a result of just letting go. Just seeing what occurs. I got this incredible opportunity in the last number of months where I was going through this kind of, I don't know, what shall I do and what will I do next? And I know I love teaching. I know I love showing up coaching. I know that I'm not wanting to take on too many clients at the moment. I just want to process and heal and share and teach and write. But I need to make some money too. And I was sitting, got out of the way about it. I have enough trust that life knows what it's doing and life knows how much money I need and life knows, what I should weigh on the weighing scale and life knows when I'm ready to push forward and when it's time to sit back. And the most random thing occurred where a friend of mine said, would you like to sell my houses? And I said, well, I'm not an estate agent. And he said, well, I'm not looking for an estate agent. I'm asking you, would you like to sell my houses? And I will give you the commission on the houses. Now, I could have gone into, oh my God, no, I don't know how to do that. I'm not an agent, blah, blah, blah. I could have gone into a whole lot of baloney. Instead, I said, oh yeah, I'm sure I can do that. I just probably have to figure it out, but yeah. And lo and behold, I began to sell somebody else's houses. That was nowhere on my radar. That was nowhere on my tiny little stamp-like mind that was boxed into, I'm a coach and I only make money through coaching. I only make money through this type of format. nowhere. And you know what? It's been the most enjoyable experience, because as I'm finding next direction in my coaching and healing business, I'm falling into alignment in a whole other area that's new to me, that's helping both elements, both professions, you know, get aligned, is what I'm trying to say. So, Connie, I hope that's helpful to you to understand that life knows what you need. Amy saying I needed to listen to this today. Good work, Amy. Glad you showed up. You listened to your wisdom to show up. Connie, you know,
I'll just say hi, Grace. I'm laying in bed seriously with my nightgown on. And I'm up, but because I have this broken ankle, I'm trying to make myself relax. So, and not be in a rush to do anything. So I needed this call so much, because yesterday I was on the phone trying to figure out so many things about, like short-term disability, my insurance, the specialist, all these things. Yeah. And so anyway, so today I'm just, this has been good. I'm just taking it easy.
Good. Yeah.
Thank
good.
you.
Glad you're here. You're so welcome. Glad you're here. It's some of us are brought to our knees as a form of surrender. I had a friend this week, she called me up. She'd been rushing for months. She'd been rushing and she'd been having a difficult time at work. She's a nurse. She'd been running all over. She'd been helping everybody. She basically just hadn't stopped. And she broke her shoulder. She fell and broke her shoulder. And it was like life was just saying, just stop. Just stop.
Well, that I'm a nurse too, Grace.
Right. Yeah. That's right.
So you do that, because when you're a nurse, you're giving so much to your patients. I mean, I told my husband that I really wanted to focus on self-care this year. And he said, well, why can't we just focus on each other? He was saying all this other stuff to me. And I just started crying. And I said, you know what? Sometimes at work, I will give people 3 meals. Like I will, make sure they get all their food, and I will have not eaten the entire time. So nurses do give a lot, for sure. I'm sorry your friend broke her shoulder. That must really hurt.
Well, you just want to rest up, honey, because in this resting, you will start to see something fresh. Life knows what it's doing. Life knows what it's doing when it breaks your shoulder or your ankle, and it knows how to heal it. We just have to be out of the way. And we may not like what's going on, but we'll get there. Thank you for sharing, Connie.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Amy, you got your hand up. Come on.
Hi. Hi, Grace. Hello. Hi, everyone. I'm staying off camera. I'm just sort of resting too, like Connie. I'm on my couch with a blanket. This is so perfectly timed, because I am trying to get back into my creative process and wanting to write some songs and sing, and which I've long wanted to do, but I tend to kind of just distract myself or crowd my life with a lot of things, and that always gets pushed to the bottom of the list. What I realized recently is my own, like you just shared this, Grace, my own vision, like what I can see for myself in the realm of being a singer. It looked like all the things that I've done in the past, or the little small ways, like playing in the local club, not getting paid any money for it. Like that's all. It seems like my mind tends to envision these very small things. When I do know, like somewhere deeper in me, I do know that there's much more than that. But I sort of struggle to get out of the way, I guess. It's like my mind just continuously goes back to like, well, if you sing, you're not going to make much money. It's going to look like I have this preconceived idea you know, of what it's going to look like, or what it,
Mhm.
yeah, if that makes sense. And I really, this was perfectly timed, because there's been, my body, my energy has been like screaming at me to just stop and take some time off and
Mhm.
literally rest. So anyway, I'm just trying to follow, do something similar to what you're saying, and open my,
Good.
yeah.
Yeah. And you know, it's funny, our mind thinks it knows.
Yeah.
So, oh, based on how it looked in the past, it's going to look like this in the future. Well, that's the little tiny stamp deciding, instead of this incredible life force that can yield a whole new experience for you where singing and earning is concerned.
Yeah.
We don't want to look to the past to determine how things are going to be in the future. That's a really bad place to make judgment from.
Right.
It's
like, that's the evidence that we have, though. That's, I think that's what that
yeah,
means.
but
That's the evidence that we know.
Yeah, it's just the ego doesn't like the unknown, so it goes to the past to grab the evidence about the future.
Mm-hmm.
But that's like saying, this is going to be a bad example, but I'm just going with it anyway. That's like saying, well, if I go back to that restaurant, it's going to be exactly the same as it was when I was there last time. It's going to be exactly the same waiter, exactly the same food, exactly the same taste, exactly the same wine, and whilst there can be similarities, nothing ever tastes exactly the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go to that restaurant and enjoy it more than you did last time, or you could go there and enjoy it less. You could find a whole new staff there. You could taste the wine and it could suck compared to last time because your taste buds are in a different place this time.
Mm-hmm.
So don't do that.
That's such a good
about the singing.
Right. Yeah.
Life just gave me that one.
That was good. I love it. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome, honey. Let's connect very soon, okay? Keep resting.
Thank you.
I see Barry's got his hand up. I think it's Barry. Do you want to come on?
Yeah. Hi, Grace. Yeah, great subject. I just want you to talk a little bit more. The only thing that came up for me when you were talking earlier was trust, and I'd like you to talk a little bit more around the trust, because you seem to have a deeper understanding or a deeper trust possibly than I do at the moment, and for me that's what's holding me back in terms of surrendering on a daily basis. I do it every now and again when I'm conscious, when I'm aware, but I'm not always doing it, and there is another side of me that wants to go back to the old, I've got to create this, I've got to strive, I've got to do this, I've got to do it, I've got to do everything. But I heard something when you were talking around trust. Could you expand on that, please?
Yeah, and I do think a bit like we were talking last time, Barry, trust is also a bit of a state of mind game too. Like if I'm in a really low state of mind, my trust level is going to be less than it is on another day. But I guess I've just from personal experience, I have seen and perhaps mentally noted over time the ways life has shown up to support me. I have got in some ways a mental inventory of this happened and then this happened and oh my God, this happened. And some of that came from risking it all. Like I remember in one really risky situation, I was flying from the UK to America and the money wasn't in the bank yet. Now I had closed a deal and I trusted that life knew I needed money when I got to America, and life knew that I was going to be on the other side of the world, and I trusted that that deal was going to go through. And so I got on the airplane. A lot of people would not get on the airplane without the money in the bank. These are sorts of risky, quote unquote, risky situations I put myself through or in to then discover that, in fact, life always provided. I remember being in a 5-star hotel in the early days of my business. And I remember thinking, how am I going to pay the bill at the end of this? I mean, we've run up such a huge bill. You know, it was kind of too frivolous back then. But again, it was another sort of experiment. And I was like, well, life knows that, you know, you follow the desire. The desire is an impulse, remember. The desire, it's not like willy-nilly, oh, I'll just go to a 5-star hotel. I had a core desire to be in a 5-star hotel, a particular one that I'd always wanted to try. I just didn't have the funds to continue to stay there and cover it, but I wanted to stay. And so I trusted that I'd be able to pay that bill. And I did. Life came through again. Starting my business, another example. I didn't have the money to start a business, and I knew with the impulse, the desire, I needed to work with this particular person, that this person was going to help me. I was brought up on don't use credit cards, never use a credit card. I didn't even know I had a credit card until I phoned the bank, and the bank said, oh yes, you do have a credit card, Miss Kelly, and you have X amount on it, the exact amount that I was being asked to invest to start my business. That's not a coincidence. And I used it and I paid it off in 30 days because I made the decision. I need to pay this off immediately. I'm not supposed to use a credit card. The point was, life was always demonstrating support, but not willy-nilly support. Support in terms of your desire, your core impulse to do something or to go somewhere, to try something, to study something, to learn something. And perhaps in many ways, Barry, that's evidence to me that this is a very supportive energy. In the case of Francesco dying, I knew I couldn't stay at my in-laws for any more than 8 months. Like, I needed to leave. And yet I was holding myself back. I was afraid to go out on my own, and I didn't know where to go. Next thing I know, my dog needs to get put down, relieving me of one responsibility. That was life. And my best friend is leaving the country and handing me the keys to his apartment. That was life. That's why I always said, don't ever fight. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. Let it go. That's hard for people to hear, but life really does know what it's doing, even when it takes away from you. And so I trusted, okay, there's more evidence life wants me to move out of my in-laws. So here's the beauty of that. If that had been left up to me, A, I wouldn't have moved because I was too scared. And B, I would have used my dog as an excuse for another 6 months, and I would have used I don't know where to go as a reason not to move. And yet I didn't do anything. Life just decided for me. My only job was to say yes. Now, I'm sharing a lot of personal experience there, Barry, so I don't know if that actually resonates with you. But it has left me no longer doubting this very supportive energy, trusting And I don't want to say you even have to trust it. I just want to say, you know, let it do its thing and watch what happens. There's a line in the Bible, if you have even the faith of a mustard seed, you know? What are you hearing in that, if anything?
Yeah, that's beautiful. You've pointed me back to my own wisdom in terms of, I also have occasions where I have surrendered, I have let go, and you know, things have always worked out, always will do, and I know they always will do. And that's what came back to me.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, like worry is optional. Just want everybody to hear that in the pursuit of trying to hope it works out or trying to figure it out. All of the worry we do does not determine whether or not something works out. It really is optional. We've just learned to kind of, well, if I keep thinking about this and I keep worrying about it and I keep analyzing it and I keep thinking about it, I keep talking about it, then I'll know, or then it'll change. And that's not how it works. That's just what we learned. So great question. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
So lovely comments coming in from you all. That's wonderful. Thank you, everybody. I think this subject is just, it's very important. And it is something that, you know, it is something we want to keep exploring. It's not, I know I'm asking you all to turn in the opposite direction to the current you've usually been flowing in. So I'm not trying to make light of this in such a way that it's, oh, just do this, it's easy. But I am asking you to consider the possibility that life knows what it's doing more than your little mind does. And surrendering to life's invitations, life's losses, life's breakages, life's challenges, surrendering to those will allow for the next thing, will allow for the healing, the direction, the clarity, the next thing. Our job is to get out of the way. If you want to go deeper on that, if you want my help around that, if you want to experience more of that for yourself, that's what my one-off sessions are currently all directed towards. I have one-off sessions happening. Get in touch, gracefulcoaching@gmail.com. I would be delighted to support you on a one-to-one basis and see where this actually takes you in your life as you begin to flow with the wisdom that is available for you in all areas. All right, everybody. Great to see you today, and I'll be back with you next Tuesday.
Thank you.
Ciao. Bye.
Ciao.